There we go. Okay, so I added for you the tooling brace. That's what it looks like, the tooling brace. So you've got that. All the dimensions are there. I can help you go through that at another time. And the bearing support, they're all there. And we'll go into that deeper. But you do have this Geneva gear to get started with if you want to, if you're mechanical. What I'd like to do now is go through this again, the how to get started part. Okay? How to get started. Because that, are any of you familiar with the law of physics, F equals ma? Have you heard of that one? F equals ma. It's the first law of mechanics. It says the force on something equals mass times its acceleration. But when it was first being developed, it wasn't written that way. It said a body which is in motion at constant velocity will stay moving at the same direction and the same speed until an external force acts on it. And then Sir Isaac Newton, that was his statement of it, said, well, that's really hard to work with. Let me see if I can put that into a mathematical formulaic method. And he got that, the F equals ma, the force on something equals its mass times its acceleration. That's a pretty big deal. But then he needed calculus, and calculus wasn't invented, so he invented calculus. But here's what I look at that on. If something's cruising along and it's going just right, it'll keep going right until something screws it up and knocks it off course. So if you get your drawings started out right and get it cruising in the right direction, it'll keep going right until somebody comes along to mess it up. So that means instead of having to work hard, you just have to keep from messing it up. Okay? So we're going to start off right. We're going to get started. Oopsie. See, I just came and messed it all up. We're going to get started correctly. Open new drawing, save as, check or set your unit, set up the layout, set up your plot info, adjust the viewport. See that, Jake? Yes, you have to adjust the viewport. And Jake, I would write this down. You're going to do this every single time in this order.
What is it you want me to write?
Well, what's on the screen? Or take a picture of it, or take a screenshot of it, or know where to find it.
Take a screenshot?
Hold on.
Take a snip of it, because this is going to be exactly what you do every time. And then you're going to start your drawing. Okay? And you can always go back to this set of notes. And you can get it, Jake, because it's on the calendar. Just right there on the calendar for you to review. Okay? So take your snip really quick, because I'm not going to wait for you to type it all out.
Oh, sure. We're looking for a snip.
On the calendar, too.
Here we go. I'll snip it for you, and I'll save it, and I'll put it in there. There you go. And I'm going to email that to you, Jake. Okay?
Oh, sure. Thanks.
Cool.
Hey, Mr. Schuster, did you get my message about internet connection?
Probably not. I've been on a seminar all day. It was the coolest seminar.
What was it?
It was about land planning and
Wow.
and the racism that has been endemic in Sacramento and actually all over California, that has caused so many of our land planning problems.
That's very interesting.
Yeah, and it was by a guy who grew up in on Stockton Boulevard. So it's very, very cool. Okay,
Wow.
so I just sent it to you, Jake. Okay, so there we go. Okay, then here's what we're going to do. I'm going to do this all for you again. So here's my AutoCAD. There it is. I have a new drawing open. And remember, I said I would open up, I'm going to close this, I would open up other drawings that have stuff in it that I want. So I've just got a couple of my title blocks open because I might want stuff out of it. So now I'm going to show you how to do one of the ones with a tracing. So that's going to be, I'll do this one. That one looks cool. Okay, so that's going to be on an A-size title block. I'm going to make it portrait. I just need thick, thin, medium. Okay. So I've done my planning. I see thick lines.
What exactly is this?
Do you see right there?
What is it?
It's a post or footing connection. Do you know what a post is, right?
So this is like, I suspect that right here you have that is some kind of, that you mean that's like cement or concrete, and
Yep.
that's the post inside of it.
Yep. And then if you look at it, there's some pieces of metal that are inserted into the concrete to hold them in place. And the metal has some holes in it. And then you drop your post down into place.
What is the
And you
post
put the
made of? Is it made of wood?
Well, let's see what it says. It says nominal nails to post, steel angle. It just says per plan. It doesn't say. That's why it's called a detail. Doesn't matter if it's wood, if it's steel, if it's Trex, if it's PVC, if it's galvanized, if it's fiberglass. It says whatever the plan calls for, here is how you're going to attach it. Isn't that cool? So you can use this drawing over and over and over and over again, which I think is really cool.
Schuster, you were talking about, you were showing me, the title blocks, and I know you like put them in our drawings and stuff, but I wanted to know, like, let's say, like, for example, the real world, and I needed to put a title block. How do I make my own title block?
Well, you never would. Usually, you almost never do. You use whatever company you work for. You use their title block.
Oh, okay.
Isn't
But sometimes
cool?
Yeah.
All right, so here we go. I'm going to show us how to do this again. I'm going to go with a new snip. So I've got it. So I've done my thinking, right? I've got thick lines. I've got medium lines. I've got some leaders. I've got some hatch. I've got probably some thin lines on this hatch. Oh, I've got some sort of hidden line that I'll probably need. That'd probably be good for a hidden line. So I'm thinking it through. I'm getting my ideas of what I'm going to need, if I can, to begin with. All right, let's go to AutoCAD. So I'm going to need some stuff out of these drawings. I'm going to need layers, and I don't have any layers. So I'm going to open my drawing. I'm going to save it really quick. Save as. And this is going to be, it's going to be my industry choice 1. And this is post footing detail. That's what it is. Okay, I got it saved. Now I need some, oh no, I need to do my units. And I'm just going to trace that drawing. So decimal inches are fine. Now I need layers. Let's see if I can find in this one DC. Remember that? AutoCAD Design Center. And I'm going to look in my click layers column. Oh, look, I got all sorts of cool layers. I got a thin layer. Oops, I'm putting it in the wrong one. Here we go. I got a thin layer, a thick layer, text, medium, center in case I need it. Let me go look in my other one and see. Oh, here's hidden. Didn't I want hidden? See how I can just kind of cruise around and get whatever I want? It is the coolest thing ever. Coolest thing ever. Okay, so I got my layers now. And I'm going to need a dim style. And I think, what kind of dimensions are on this thing? There really aren't dimensions. I need a leader style. Oh, here's a kind of a dimension. Kind of a dimension. That looks like an architectural dimension. And this one looks like a mechanical dimension. And this one looks like an architectural dimension. I don't think it's going to matter. Let me look at my dim styles and see if I can find an architectural one. This is big. Architectural. So I found an architectural dimension style. And I'm not sure if I have any leader styles. Just standard. So I'll have to set my multi-leader style when I get to it. So I've just been thinking things through. That's the biggest thing to do. Think it through. Identify. Write notes on it if you have to. Write notes. That's going to be thick. That's going to be, I'm going to make it architectural. Architectural, a leader, medium, maybe thin. I don't know how to draw this thing here. Thick, thin. Okay. I'll figure it all out, but I'm getting there. I'm getting there. My next thing is I got to put it on a piece of paper. Dang, I got to close my design center. It's in the way. Okay, and if I look at this, I'm not really, it could be either way. So I'm going to put it on portrait. I'm going to use a portrait. Right click, change my setup, make it PDF over and over and over again, make it portrait, grayscale. I think that's got everything. Yep. Now this thing's all goofy, but I'll move it later. So now I can go to my design center again, DC, enter. And I can pick a block, title block, A size, sketch, landscape. I've got it as a landscape. I better find my portrait one. Do I have one that's portrait? Where did those all go? Portrait. That's all it takes. So now I can go to my one that says portrait, get my blocks, and voila. And it's page 1. Scale will be none. Capitals. Drawing title. What was this thing again? Post. Footing. Detail. DESGN 301. Schuster. So look, it seems like I've taken forever to get this started, but I'm in really good shape now. I kind of got this down and ready to go. So if I did something good, I save it. I think I've got everything. I'll turn off the design center. Go back to my model. And I'm ready to draw. I'm all blank here. I'm set. I'm ready to draw. So now what am I going to draw? Well, the first thing I'm going to do is give myself something that's about about 8.5 by 11, so I know how big to make that image when I put it in there. And I remember I had snipped it. Could get a little smaller still. There we go. Don't you think that'll look nice? I think that'll look good once I get it done. So now I don't need this anymore. That was just draw something and get it there. But look, when I'm tracing, it might be a little bit of a problem because sometimes lines are on top, sometimes they're underneath. So I'm going to do one more cool thing. I'm going to make myself a new layer called image. And I'm going to put my image on the image layer. And then I'm going to look at the properties of that layer. And there's something called transparency. And if I'm going to trace, I don't need to see that big and bold. Transparency of 100 means you can't see it at all, cannot. And transparency of 0 means that it's fully visible. So I'm going to really make it hardly visible at all. Isn't that cool? So now I can trace over the top of it, and I'm going to lock that layer so that I don't accidentally move it around or change it. There's the trick. That is the coolest thing ever. So now let me see what else I need to do out of my list. Oop. I checked my units. I set up for the appropriate size and orientation. I set up my plot. I adjusted the viewport. I opened the title block drawing and added anything I needed. I kind of did it later. Open the design center. I drag my layers and dim styles in. Now I'm ready to go to model space and start my drawing. Here I am in model space and I'm ready to start my drawing. So I can pick what layer I'm going to be on. I'll start off on thick. And look, this looks kind of like a rectangle to me. And so it's a detail. Nothing's really to scale. So I can just start drawing. Perpendicular, however you want to draw it to make it kind of hit. And then I know there's the trim command. And how am I going to draw that thing? I'll probably not see what happens if it's on thick. It looks pretty thick. So I'll probably put that one on like on medium. And I'll just draw it. There. And see, I'm not lining up perfectly, but who cares where that is? That just means it goes on and on and on forever. Cool. That's kind of neato. So there's a few types of things that I have to show you. If I want to do this hatch right here, that can be a little bit of a problem sometimes. But what it is I have to sort of draw around it and hatch. So I'll take a line here and I'll just start somewhere nearest. And now I can hatch this, but here's what happens on hatch sometimes. So remember, here's that hatch command. We've done it once. Hatch with some sort of a pattern. That pattern is called earth. So I can come and find the earth pattern. But I'm going to tell you, earth is a really big pattern. Where's my earth? Earth, earth, earth. There it is. Oh, that's actually not too bad. It's not too bad. But if I want to change the size a little bit, I'll go up to the little scale button. 0.75. That looks pretty good. That looks pretty close to what they've got. Isn't that neat? So then I can go here. And then theirs didn't show this outside line. So I'm going to get rid of those lines. And then depending on what layer I want that to be on, I've got it on medium. It might be too bold, so I might need to put it on thin. Let's see what it looks like when yeah, see, that looks a little better. It's not supposed to really jump out. And I can do the same thing down here and over here. And what that's telling you is there's dirt all around here, but I don't want to show dirt everywhere. It makes my drawing messy. So do you see how you'll start going and start doing that? And then I'll save every so often. And let's see how that's going to look. Oh! So I need to rescale this a little bit so that it's going to fit. There we go. That looks like it's going to fit well. And then here's the trick. When I'm done, I don't want to see the original. That was somebody else's work and I'm modifying it. So I have to turn that layer off. There. Sort of get the concept and the idea on how that goes. Uh-oh. Did I? Nope. There we are. Everybody able to kind of see how that works and how that would go? So look, you take about 15 or 20 minutes to get your drawing ready. Maybe even 10 minutes. That time is so worthwhile. Write down notes so you're going to remember what you do. You can even sketch it out and write down notes. You can print it out and write down notes. But make yourself a little plan And then if you have a checklist that you can go over, a checklist. Did I do that? Did I do that? Did I do that? Did I do that? Just as you go down, get everything done and then start your drawing. All right. Any questions? Okay, then I am going to stop the recording.